Hello guys and welcome to another video. This footage is pre-recorded because frankly I can't do live comms properly anymore. You might already notice a few differences in my setup. I've recently switched from PvP Lounge to Lunar and from GeForce Experience to OBS, and now my recordings look 10 times better. For the past few weeks I've been grinding a bunch of classic duels, reached Classics Legend on my main, and I got this cool screenshot from an alt account. I will have that on screen right about now. And don't ask me what the number one guy that does all day, because trust me here, when I say 300 win-loss ratio took me 5 hours to get, and I don't lose that often, I really have no clue what the guy was doing all day. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the reason why you clicked on this video. Today I'm gonna be talking about the most awkward moment in my life. I don't think I've ever shared this with anyone online, but I believe it's time you learned a thing or two about me. This all took place between September of 2019 and February of 2020, right before the first lockdown. At the time I was a volunteer in an NGO, which is a non-governmental organization, whose goal was to protect the rights of children in need, mainly the ones separated from their families, and forced to leave their homes due to the war. Now, excluding the actual paid employees, I was the only native participating until that finally changed. One day, a girl who I won't directly name for the sake of privacy joined in and became the second native volunteer in that NGO. So frankly, I was pretty happy about that. To make things easy, let's just call her Mary. Now, Mary and we hit it off pretty well and stuck together for most of the time. She was 17 and I was 18, and we both just really wanted someone to talk to over there because no one spoke Greek and it was kind of an issue. Unfortunately, she didn't speak English almost at all, and I had to translate a lot for her. Most people over there either spoke Farsi and English. Farsi is the language they speak in Iran, or just Farsi in general, and communication was slightly difficult at first, but with time I think we both improved. She also sadly lived very far away, and the journey to the NGO was expensive, so she didn't visit as often as I did. Eventually, though, we both joined the script writing club of that NGO. Our task was making a script for the theater club, which we were also a part of, whose goal was to make a small movie from the script. We pretty much had everything planned out, and the script was going to be the best thing ever. Like, we had every goal, every good intention to make it the best thing ever. However, as all things, it didn't go as planned. You see, contrary to me, Mary was a very extroverted person, and she proposed this idea of us going to her house, finishing up the script, and then going clubbing until 7 a.m. with her friends, which I, by the way, didn't know until that time. I'm not really the biggest clubbing fan if you know me, but I said I'd follow through with the plan anyway. Well, she was cool, and it could be fun. Spoilers, I did change my mind, because mainly her house was already far away and I felt like there was no way I could handle a long trip followed by another long trip back to my place, and to the club and to my place, and pretty much everywhere. It was just not a good idea for me to go. But there was this other reason, which is mainly the topic of this video, that really discouraged me to not go, and to go English. It all started when we went to her place that day. With clubbing plans still being in place. Mary lived with her mother, and they didn't have the best of relationships. They fought constantly while I was there, and we couldn't really focus on finishing the script at all. I don't really mind arguing as a person, but it happens in family, and it obviously doesn't concern me. The problem was they were making it, so it did concern me. Eventually, both of them tried to get me to side with them in arguments, calling each other names behind the other's back, and putting me in the middle of it in general. This was just literally simping at its finest. A mother and a daughter arguing about the most stupid things and forcing me to pick sides. It really made things very awkward for me. I won't even begin to tell you what they argued about, but let me give you an example. At one point we wanted to watch a movie and we didn't know which side to go for, so they argued about that for about 30 minutes. And in the end we didn't even watch a movie because every time we finalized on a site, the other would be like, look at this crappy ass quality, my website is much better, and vice versa for 30 minutes. I really had no idea how to handle the situation. I had two choices really, like side with Mary and have her mother not liking me, which would probably lead to us not seeing each other again, or actually visiting her house again, which I think was a good experience. Or side with her mother and have Mary not liking me, which is practically the same deal. We just wouldn't be friends anymore, and that wouldn't be the best. I opted for neutrality, being the smart guy I am, but they just wouldn't listen. As my patience was growing thinner, Mary told me it was time for us to leave for the club, so that was a big sigh of relief for me. Now, that wouldn't be so simple either. You see, her mother was magically now against the idea of us going to the club, and she wouldn't let her go unless she came with as well, which was rather cringe, and you can imagine how Mary felt at that moment. And once again, here I was in the middle of the damn argument. They both pulled me aside and were like, put some sense into the woman already. You're a smart guy. You know what's best. Well, pretty much. I've had enough. I took the next bus home and I contemplated my life choices. In the end, though, all went well. Like, Mary did go clubbing alone, but sadly, I haven't talked to her in a while. I think it's been a few months now. Sadly, though, the script was never finished either. And I haven't been in that NGO forever due to the pandemic. I think it's just still closed. Like no one's allowed there anymore. Even the employees can't go because of the pandemic. The poor kids, man. The poor kids. I can't. As soon as this pandemic's over, I'm going straight back to that NGO. I really like the place, and hopefully Mary's there as well, so we can talk again. It does really suck. It does really suck, but. Why did I say this story? Well, it's to teach a moral. What's the moral? Stay neutral, people. In arguments, especially in ones that don't concern you. And if that doesn't work, don't do what I did. Bounce immediately. Don't even try to side. It just doesn't work well. Well, anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say for today. Thank you very much for watching, and be sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're new, comment below, and see ya in the next one. Bye.